Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Blair and I'm a process-oriented psychotherapist in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I have a women-centered private practice working with women all around the world on Skype and telephone and also in person. I am starting a new video segment series called Therapy in Under 5, where I'm going to attempt to answer a question from either a question I've gotten from a client over time, a friend, just anyone I know who's looking for a more therapeutic answer, a more depth psychological answer to their question. I'm going to do one question per segment, and I'm going to try to give you my thoughts about that in under 5 minutes so that it's sort of a bite-sized chunk that you can take with you, and hopefully you'll learn something, and hopefully it'll be fun for you and for me. So my first, and I have a little timer here to try to keep myself within that 5 minutes, because I'm feeling I could talk a bit longer than that. Okay, so I'm starting that, and here is the question from a young woman. She says, "It's important to me to be authentic with people, to be open about my feelings, thoughts, and opinions, and show my vulnerability because I think that's a good thing for more people to show. But sometimes I share my genuine experience with others, especially friends, and they meet me with judgment or their own stuff, or I just don't feel heard or understood. What should I do, and am I oversharing?" It's a great question. First, I just want to applaud this person for wanting to be authentic, expressing their feelings, thoughts, opinions, especially for us women folk. It's really good to be able to do that if you can, when you can. It I think is a sign of empowerment, and it's often a sign of empowerment depending on how conscious or unconscious we are about that. And it's good to feel comfortable in our own skin and not just be bowing to the sexism and patriarchy and the culture. So good for you for doing that and for thinking about that and caring about that. Second, I would say it sounds like this person is probably getting hurt by the fact that they're sharing with people and then they're not feeling really heard or understood afterwards. And I feel for that. I definitely understand what that feels like. And I would say if that's happening pretty regularly, especially if it's happening with a particular person, but even if it's happening across the board, all of our relationships, all of our friendships do have limitations. And it's important to know what are the limitations of that person and what are the limitations of this friendship so that you can get the good things out of that person, that friend, that time that you spend with them, while also recognizing that there are places that might not be the best place to go with that person. You can't get everything from everyone. You can't get everything from your most intimate partner. So certainly our friends can do a lot for us and give us a lot, but it's important to know this is maybe not a place I want to go with them, but this is a place I want to go with them. And that's not an overnight thing to figure that out. But I do think it's helpful to know what you feel comfortable sharing with whom, so that you do protect yourself a little bit in certain ways. The other thing that I want to say is that for better or worse, the condition in our world, well, I should say in the United States, I really can't speak for elsewhere. Most of us, I would say all of us, a lot of the time are projecting onto the people that we're listening to. So we listen to someone speak, we either are listening to their content or their communication style, like you're doing with me now, or reading something that they're writing, and we have reactions to it. So we have say positive projections. We think, oh wow, that's great, I love what they're saying, that's so amazing, or I love how she talked about that. Or we have negative projections. Oh, no, I totally disagree, or God, can you believe that he was like that or she was like that? So we either like kind of go, wow, amazing, incredible, or it really gets under our skin and we're kind of repulsed or repelled. And it's important as we're trying to be more aware, more conscious, if we're people who work on ourselves, to notice when those things happen, both positively and negatively. Of course, somebody could say something that's really amazing and you think that's great. And there's nothing wrong with that, of course. And likewise, if you disagree with somebody, you get to disagree with them. But if it's kind of really going in a strong way, one way or the other, it's good to take a moment and say, what's going on for me there? Usually if something is really positive, it's typically a part of ourselves that we think actually needs more support. And somehow they're mirroring that to us. It's resonating for us in a certain way. So we think, oh yeah, that's it. Or we're maybe shy to be like that. So we see that person being like that or expressing that opinion, and we're like envious. Oh wow, I want to be more like that. But we're a little shy. On the other hand, if it's more of a negative reaction, it's important to sometimes look at that and say, what's going on for me there? I wonder why I have, there's my timer. I wonder why I have such a strong negative reaction. Sometimes that means there's a part of us that we don't like, that we don't want to be like, we don't want to identify with that. We say, I'm not like that person, or I'm not that way. And that's worth looking into a little bit more, so that we don't only see those things in other people. And the reason I say all that, and I'll wrap this up quickly, is because what happens when we really positively project or negatively project onto somebody, onto our friend or family member or anyone, we're not really hearing them, right? We're hearing our own stuff. So noticing when we are hearing our stuff and kind of taking that aside and going, and unpacking that, what is that there for me, allows us to be more present for an actual person, that subject that's in front of us. What's that like for you? Tell me more about that. I want to hear that. How do you feel about that? I don't quite understand that. Say more. So we're actually listening to a person and hearing them. I think most of us don't feel heard most of the time, and it's because we're all so needy of being heard, really. But if we can look at our own stuff when things come up, that helps. It helps us to be more present. It helps us to appreciate the person who's in front of us. And like I said, knowing the limitations of your friends, of your friendships, of your family member relationships, so that you know, this is what I feel comfortable sharing with this person, and this is what I think I want to keep to myself. So those are some initial thoughts. Obviously, I went over 5 minutes in my first try. I'll try to keep it closer to the time next time. Thanks for watching. Take care. Until next time.